Okay, so we have already completed the endocrinology in the last topic. So now let's start with the some miscellaneous topics in the pediatrics. So the first question here, 211 number question, it is stating a 2-week-old infant is brought to the emergency department because of poor feeding, abdominal distension is there and vomiting since he was born. ठीक है. So the vomiting was since he was born. Physical exam reveals bilateral cataracts. Okay, so bilateral cataracts are also here, and hepatomegaly. So hepatomegaly and bilateral cataract. Urine has reducing substances but absence of the glucose. Which of the following enzyme deficiency is responsible for this presentation? So first of all you have to make the diagnosis here. Okay, you have to make the diagnosis, then you will go to the enzyme deficiency, because if you make the diagnosis it will be very easier for you to go to the enzyme deficiency, because you got the diagnosis and you have read about those enzyme deficiencies in your generally biochemistry topic. So let's see, this is the diagnosis of generally hereditary galactosemia. This is the diagnosis of hereditary galactosemia. We have oil drop cataracts, that bilateral cataract, oil drop is not given but bilateral cataracts they have given you, plus hepatomegaly is giving you the diagnosis of generally hereditary galactosemia. So for the hereditary galactosemia or simply galactosemia, what is the generally enzyme deficient? So the enzyme deficiency will be nothing but the GALT deficiency will be there. So this is generally. Now let's see this second one, glucose 6 phosphatase deficiency. So G6PD deficiency leads to which disease? That is nothing but your 1GRK. Just recall the things that I have taught you in the बायोकेमिस्ट्री. बायोकेमिस्ट्री मैंने बहुत ईजी से लाइसोजोमल स्टोरेज डिजीज, ग्लाइकोजन स्टोरेज डिजीज, ये सारी चीज़ें मैंने एक ही जगह पर रख के आपको बहुत ईजी से वहाँ पे बताया हुआ था. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट G6PD deficiency is seen in the case of 1GRK, whereas UDP galactose 4 epimerase. Don't get confused in GALT and this UDP galactose. So this UDP galactose 4 epimerase generally it is not at all common. ठीक है, this deficiency is not at all common, and UDP galactose 2 generally UDP glucose, it generally this epimerase will change UDP galactose to generally UDP glucose. So you must remember this. Next is galactokinase deficiency. वही मतलब generally where UDP galactose 4 epimerase का काम क्या है, what is the work of this UDP galactose 4 epimerase? So this generally changes the UDP galactose to UDP glucose. That was what I was trying to tell you. So just remember that one line. कभी कभी ऐसा कुछ क्वेश्चन इसमें से पूछा नहीं, and this is not at all, this deficiency is not at all common also. So just leave it. मैं तो कहूँगा छोड़ दो. चलो, galactokinase deficiency. The fourth option is galactokinase deficiency. This is also not at all so much common, and this is generally galactokinase will be required to convert generally galactose to galactose 1 phosphate, and this is the enzyme required here, galactokinase. So this is also not very common. So you must remember about two things here, the GALT deficiency or GALPUT deficiency जो बोलते हैं हम जिसको, and the next is generally glucose 6 phosphatase deficiency. Glucose 6 phosphatase deficiency. आगे देखो. Next is Menke disease is a disorder of. Okay, so this Menke disease is generally the defect in the ATP7A gene. So you must remember one line, ATP7A gene. So if there is defect in this ATP7A gene, the disease will be generally, or the disorder will be Menkes disease. So generally this is a disorder of which ATP7A gene आपने कहाँ पे पढ़ा हुआ था? That is generally in the कॉपर, जहाँ पे हमने विल्सन डिजीज भी हमने पढ़ा हुआ था. ठीक है, सो मेंके डिजीज, विल्सन डिजीज, ऑल वी हैव डन दिस इन आवर बायोकेमिस्ट्री. A 1-year-old boy presented with hemarthrosis of the left knee after a history of fall. Hemarthrosis of the left knee after a history of fall. Deficiency of which factor can lead to generally the following conditions? So यहाँ पे देखो, hemarthrosis after a history of fall. After a history of fall. So this is generally going towards your ऑप्शन में देखो, वॉन विलीब्रांड डिजीज, विटामिन के डेफिशिएंसी, फैक्टर 8 डेफिशिएंसी एंड थ्रोम्बोसाइटोपेनिया. सो दिस इज गोइंग टुवर्ड्स योर फैक्टर 8 डेफिशिएंसी. हाउ? आई विल टेल यू. लुक, ज्वाइंट ब्लीडिंग आफ्टर मिनिमल ट्रॉमा और एक्सेसिव ब्रीजेबिलिटी, ठीक है, इज सीन इन द केसेज ऑफ हीमोफीलिया. द लीडिंग सब टाइप इज हीमोफीलिया ए व्हिच हैज द फैक्टर 8 डेफिशिएंसी. ठीक है, एंड इट शोज X-linked recessive pattern of inheritance. The child should be screened for coagulogram and deranged APTT will be seen. The best investigation for diagnosis is factor 8 level estimation, and treatment is monthly factor 8 concentrates manufactured by generally DNA recombinant technology. Next, some extra mile, let us see here. Bleeding from umbilical stump in neonate on day 0. So bleeding from umbilical stump, this we have read in your generally hematology in case of your pathology also. ठीक है, वहाँ पर भी हमने कवर किया हुआ था. So let's see, bleeding from the umbilical stump in neonate or day 0, that is nothing but Glanzmann Thromboasthenia. Bleeding from the umbilical stump in neonate on day 5. That was on day 1, day 0. Now this is on the day 5. So this is nothing but the hemorrhagic disease of the newborn. Hemorrhagic disease of the newborn, where generally vitamin K is required. Excessive bleeding in a boy after circumcision. Circumcision के बाद generally excessive bleeding अगर दे रहा है, these are all the buzzwords. So this is going to answer generally factor 8 deficiency or hemophilia A. Bleeding in joint space in a boy after a minor fall. Again, the same thing was given in your question. That is nothing but the factor 8 deficiency or hemophilia A. It has generally X-linked recessive pattern of inheritance. That also has been asked in many exams. आगे देखो, a boy with a history of frequent fractures presented with blue sclera. Blue sclera, just point it out. ब्लू स्क्लेरा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बजवर्ड है. सो ब्लू स्क्लेरा, व्हाट कुड बी द डायग्नोसिस. मेरे दिमाग में तो ऐसे ही आ रहा है, ब्लू स्क्लेरा आई हैव सीन जनरली इन बायोकेमिस्ट्री भी हमने किया था, पैथो में भी हमने किया था. सो दिस ब्लू स्क्लेरा, दिस इज नथिंग बट गोइंग टुवर्ड्स योर ऑस्टियोजेनेसिस इम्परफेक्टा. विदाउट सीइंग एनी ऑप्शंस आई एम गोइंग टुवर्ड्स ऑस्टियोजेनेसिस इम्परफेक्टा एंड दैट विल बी द आंसर. सो दिस इज ऑस्टियोजेनेसिस इम्परफेक्टा. सो लेट्स सी the different classification of the osteogenesis imperfecta. Type 1. Type 1 osteogenesis imperfecta, it is the most common type, it is least severe type, and there will be blue sclera noted. Second type, the type 2 will be generally lethal, respiratory compromise will be there, and most do not generally survive past early infancy. Third general type जो है उसमें most severe form, that is compatible with life, early and numerous fractures leading to deformed limbs, progressive in nature and normal sclera. Look, फॉर दिस डिफरेंट टाइप्स है ना, ये जो डिफरेंट टाइप्स में से जो क्वेश्चन बनेंगे, दैट हैज नॉट बीन आस्क्ड इन द FMG8. आई हैव नॉट सीन सच क्वेश्चन इन आस्क्ड इन FMG8, बट दिस हैज बीन आस्क्ड इन योर जनरली INI CT. ठीक है. सो for if you are preparing for INI or NEET PG, then you must pay more attention to this one, the types, otherwise it's okay. So for generally इसमें एक क्वेश्चन पूछेगा कि जनरली ब्लू स्क्लेरा कौन से टाइप में होता है, दैट इज नथिंग बट टाइप 1, एंड ब्लू स्क्लेरा इज नॉट फाउंड इन विच टाइप, दैट इज नथिंग बट generally the sclera will be normal in the third type. So the next fourth type, the type 4, there will be not as severe as type 3. Fractures are common, bowed long bones and normal sclera will be there. So third or fourth में generally there will be normal sclera. So वो हमको generally क्या करना है, याद रखना है. That is very important. आगे चलिए देखते हैं. The image given below shows a female baby with a rash on face and perineal area. There is a rash on face and perineal area. What could be the underlying डेफिशिएंसी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस रैश. सो सबसे पहले देखो कहाँ पर रैश है. द रैश इज सोन ऑन द फेस एंड पेरिनियल एरिया. ये देखो फेस पे है, यहाँ पे ये उंगलियों के इस पे भी जनरली दिखा रहा है, एंड द नेक्स्ट ये यहाँ पे पेरिनियल एरिया में भी रैश दिख रहा है. दिस इज नथिंग बट एक्रल डर्माटाइटिस, दिस इज पेरी ओरल डर्माटाइटिस, एंड दिस इज पेरी जेनाइटल डर्माटाइटिस. सो दिस diagnosis is going towards your acral यानी कि acrodermatitis enteropathica. So the diagnosis will be acrodermatitis enteropathica, and for that generally here what they are asking, what could be the underlying deficiency. So acrodermatitis enteropathica, this is going towards your zinc. There will be deficiency of zinc. आगे देखो, which of the following is the cause of development of acute scrotum in a 2-year-old child. So acute scrotum is nothing but a sudden onset of scrotal pain. This you have generally done in your surgery portion. ठीक है, सर्जरी में आपने किया हुआ था acute scrotum. Acute scrotum क्या है, generally sudden onset of the scrotal pain, swelling, redness, often accompanied by generally the tenderness and systemic signs like fever or nausea. So it is generally a clinical emergency, and the most common cause of acute scrotum in prepubertal boys is torsion of appendix. और यहाँ पे वही 2 years के हिस्ट्री में जनरली दे रहा. सो दिस इज जनरली अ prepubertal boy. So here the most common cause will be the torsion of appendix of testis, or generally the epididymis, the torsion of the epididymis. Most common cause of acute scrotum in neonates and generally adolescents is generally testicular torsion. ठीक है, testicular torsion. So here the option यहाँ पे देखो, torsion of appendix of testis. ठीक है, epididymitis, testicular trauma and idiopathic swelling. Don't get confused in this epididymitis. ठीक है, torsion और epididymitis अलग चीज है. So this is generally torsion of appendix of the testis. That will be the best answer here. एक्रोडर्माटाइटिस इंटेरोपैथिका इज ड्यू टू, जस्ट ऊपर हमने किया था जिंक डेफिशिएंसी. ठीक है, जिंक डेफिशिएंसी. अब जिंक टॉक्सिसिटी में क्या होगा, व्हाट विल बी देयर इन द जिंक टॉक्सिसिटी. इफ द जिंक इज इन extra excess amount, it can cause zinc 6, especially after the inhalation of zinc following the welding of the galvanized metal. So generally people who work in generally welding jobs, they generally get this zinc toxicity, and it generally occurs especially after the inhalation of the excess amount of the zinc dusts. आगे देखो, what is the dose of the isoniazid in infant? So isoniazid के लिए generally the dose in the infants will be how much? So this is nothing but 15 mg per kg. बस ये एक वन लाइनर है, याद कर लो, बहुत ज़्यादा पूछा नहीं गया, बट इफ इट इज आस्क्ड जनरली इन द नीट पीजी एंड INI क्वेश्चन, तो यहाँ पे देखो ड्रग, पेडियाट्रिक डोज, साइड इफेक्ट एंड मैक्सिमम एडल्ट डोज, ये चार चीज़ें हमको पढ़ना है. सो जनरली दिस इज योर टीबी ड्रग्स. ठीक है, टीबी ड्रग्स में दैट इज नथिंग बट हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था ना जनरली यहाँ पे देखो INH. ठीक है, INH. सो दिस इज जनरली पेडियाट्रिक डोज इन mg पर kg, दैट इज नथिंग बट 15 mg पर kg थ्राइस वीकली अंडर RN-CTP. 20 to 30 mg ट्वाइस वीकली डोजेज. साइड इफेक्ट इसका क्या हो जाएगा जनरली? INH विल कॉज जनरली पेरिफेरल न्यूराइटिस एंड मैक्सिमम एडल्ट डोज विल बी 300 mg. Whereas we talk about rifampicin generally it will be 15 mg per kg. The side effect will be hepatitis and the maximum adult dose will be 600 mg. Pyrazinamide in a generally pediatric patient it will be 30 to 35 mg per kg and the side effect will be gout. Very important question, this has been asked so many times. Of the which of the following TB drugs causes generally gout? So this is nothing but pyrazinamide. Next देखो 2000 mg इसका जनरली maximum adult dose. And if we talk about the ethambutol, the pediatric dose in mg per kg will be 20 to 25 mg per kg. It will cause optic neuritis as the side effect and generally the maximum adult dose will be 1500 mg. This all side effect we have already covered in our pharmacology. ठीक है, फार्मा में हमने सारा किया हुआ था. Please note that the values of the INH and rifampicin under the revised programs are equal. Under the revised programs they are now equal. So this much. Now next question. Okay. So miscellaneous is over I think. ठीक है, miscellaneous हो गया. So now I think we'll go with pediatric.